Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I'm back from my vacation, a little bit scruffy and a little bit more tan, but I'm glad to be back and doing some more game breakdowns. Lord knows you guys have been tired of watching my Sloan interviews. If you haven't watched them, it's great stuff, so check it out, and I apologize for the mic. Also, on Friday, there's a thing called a free roll. Now, we talked about it before, and I really encourage you to sign up because it's free. It's one day, and it's a fantasy league for NBA where you can win a lot of money. And I like it because I can't handle doing a whole season. It's too many games, it's too many lineups, and all the kind of stuff. But what's easy about this is it's one day, and you can win some cash, and it's free. So sign up in the link on the screen or in the link down below in the description. Well, let's get to the OKC versus Spurs game. It was pretty exciting in the beginning where the Thunder got control of the game early, but then got destroyed over the last 36 minutes of the game. And even in that first quarter, the Spurs missed a lot of easy shots that you knew they were kind of going to get back into the swing of things and get that game even. And they really took control. And the big elephant in the room was that Tony Parker wasn't playing. So the Thunder need to be very concerned without James Harden now. They need to be able to figure out a way to play better defense. They couldn't control the post at all, and Splitter went nuts, and Tim Duncan had some moves down low as well. And they need to be able to get better offense. We've talked about this forever, that Russell Westbrook has got some problems and some issues, and certainly him taking 27 shots while Durant takes half of that is not a recipe for success against the good teams. So Scott Brooks, if they don't make the finals, it very well could be that they move on and get a new coach. So let's start off by looking at how the Spurs were getting their offensive looks, because it's, again, a very exciting and clever way they do it. Here's a screen to roll right on top to start the offense, and you'll see first they're forcing Manu to the right, and there's too much space between Jackson and Collison. That'll hurt them later, but here they're supposed to bump the roll man with Kevin Durant, and then Collison has to get back. He's way too slow, and one. Great movement around the perimeter first by the Spurs, making it hard to defend this pick and roll. Sideline toward the middle this time. There's less room for the roller to score, and hence Ibaka can get over there and block the shot. You don't have to hit the roll man from the ball handler. Here they're going to force him right again, and instead Manu's going to hit the wing. Reggie Jackson should come over to help the roll man. Doesn't do that, and they get a layup. This time the Spurs run a double pin down for the pick and roll for Kawhi Leonard, and that puts the defense in a bad position. And watch how Ibaka is going to come over to help on the pick and roll, and that gives up a dunk. Forcing Manu again to his right, there's not enough pressure. Reggie Jackson should be closer, and there's too much space between him and Perkins. Perkins has a really lame reach to try and get the ball. They give up a layup. Here's that same double pin down on the left side, but this time the Thunder do a great job of pressuring and taking away the pass to the top, but that triggers a whole series of other options the Spurs have. Diallo is going to come from the high side, but then switch around and screen to the baseline side, and look how Perkins is completely ineffective helping out on defense. Perkins has a reputation of being a good defender, but watch how bad he is on the weak side. Let's talk about Russ and the kind of teammate he is. After this KD turnover, he's going to tell slow-footed Perkins to go back and pick up Diallo, even though he's in much better position. As a result, they get a layup out of this, and he never even runs in to try and help. This turnover is partly due to bad offense because the only option he has is to throw the ball to Nick Collison. However, if he can't get it there, he should dribble over and do something else. Instead, he stares at the target for a while and then ultimately throws it away on a bad pass. And then yells at his teammate for his own mistake. More bad Brooks offense where they're going to do a screen and roll to the left side, but Durant is in that weak side corner too close to the basket. There's no room for Russ to drive, and Duncan points it out. And there is Kawhi Leonard being able to come over and get a steal. And watch this beautiful coast-to-coast left-handed finish. And here's an inexcusable down by 6 lazy pass that gets a steal and a dunk by the Spurs. And if you can explain this one, I'm all ears. A closeout by Neal. I guess he thought they were going to foul him on purpose, but why would they? They're up by 3, so he's complaining he doesn't get back, and they're lucky that Kmart gets that deflection. And here's an interesting play. They do a pin down on the same side as the post up, and while Perkins is moving on the screen, it gets KD a wide open 3. If Diallo helps too much on KD and the pin downs, it opens up a layup for his man. So he backs up, and that lets KD score at the rim. This time, Tim Duncan will sag and take away the penetration, and the point guard will come over and stop penetration as well, but that just lets him pull up and get an and one. Another Scott Brooks offense problem, same play, but when they can't get it to Kevin Durant coming around that screen, there's nothing else for them to do except hope they can finally get it into KD on the top on a weird post-up near the top of the key. This eventually leads to a drive because no one else is moving, and a miss and a run out. This time Kawhi Leonard goes underneath the screen, and that does a pretty good job because he's hustling so hard, but it just turns into a screen and roll the other way and gets Durant a wide open shot he just can't knock down. Very simple one-on-one in the post, splitter versus Ibaka, and Perkins is in the neighborhood, so is KD. They could help. No help, he gets a layup. Watch how clever their offense is. A simple pick and roll will distract Ibaka and allow Splitter to get great position down low to do a nice little jump hook on the block. So the Thunder refuse to respect Splitter down low, and they won't double him on the post. This is perhaps the best use of footwork I've seen in the post all year long. Next, let's look at the Derek Fisher effect. He had a very poor game, -23 plus minus, with huge matchup problems defensively that the Oklahoma City Thunder couldn't solve. With this lineup, Derek Fisher has to pick up Danny Green, one of the best shooters in the league, and he lets him shoot a three-pointer in transition. Shake my head. On the next play, when they go down to Splitter, you're going to see Derek Fisher go off the cutter and kind of double, but what's a 6-footer going to do against a 7-footer except give up a wide open three in the corner? On the other end, the Spurs have to guard Fisher with Splitter, and if he can't get closer than this on a three, he shouldn't be in the game. On the flip side, Fisher has to guard Splitter, and on the pick and roll, they get all confused on the switch when Russ is guarding Splitter. Russ and KD then switch, and an awful closeout by Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi nails a jumper. Fisher still has to guard Splitter, but the Spurs do not take advantage and shoot an air ball from 15. Coming back down, Russ brings the ball up and takes a very bad shot, 1-on-4, 4 guys in the lane, no hope for an offensive rebound if it misses. So the Spurs come back down, and this time Derek Fisher has to guard Tim Duncan. So they go to Splitter in the post, and watch how Russell Westbrook gets completely out of position on the weak side for this pin down, and Derek Fisher has no hope to help out either. The Thunder decide to ISO Derek Fisher on Splitter, thinking they have an advantage, but Derek Fisher has never been the kind of player that can do this very well. He misses a long, inefficient two, and here come the Spurs, and they finally get matched up where at least Kevin Durant is guarding Splitter. Again, no double, but Tim Duncan does him a favor and brings Perkins even closer in the lane, but he's ineffective helping out. So there you have it, sports fans. I'm not going to belabor the point that I don't like the way Russell Westbrook plays. He is amazing, a great athlete, and does incredible things, but when he is the guy in charge making crucial decisions against good teams, more often than not, his temper flares up. He loses sight of what's good decisions in the game. That half-court shot that he took, thinking he might get a foul, and then doesn't run back hard on defense. It's like those are the things you don't see the good point guards do. And those are the things you don't see good point guards that lead their teams to championships do. And I lay it on Scott Brooks a lot more now than I do Russ. I really feel like he needs a coach that's going to lay it out for him and explain to him what he needs to do to get better, because I haven't seen him get better at decision making. I've seen him get better physically and sort of overwhelm people, but it's a real problem, and I'm kind of getting tired of harping on him too. So we'll have to see what happens with Scott Brooks. If he can't get better play out of them and they can't get to the finals this year, which they might not if they play the Spurs again, then I don't know if Scott Brooks will be the coach next year. Well, don't forget to sign up for that free roll on Friday. Great stuff happening there, and it's free and you can win. And lots more coming up on B-Ball Breakdown, because don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?